Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sam. If you are not new here, first of all, thank you so much. This is the first video that I'm creating after reaching 500 subscribers. So again, I appreciate you more than words can say, and I'm so happy you're here. I look forward to continuing to grow and create more and more content about all things anti-MLM, anti-scam, and anti-diet culture. So if that is something that you do like and you're not subscribed yet, I would love it if you could subscribe and hit the bell because I am posting 3 times a week at the moment and you don't want to miss any of those videos. So if you hit the bell, you'll get notified every time that I post a new video. Okay, so today we are venturing into Monet, and I don't think I've covered them at all on this channel yet. I know there are a ton of Monet videos out there, and I actually wasn't really planning on making any Monet content right now, but I came across some TikToks that really rubbed me the wrong way. And the reason they rubbed me the wrong way, I swear, every time that I talk about an MLM, I talk about how I had an experience or I am certified in this and that. But so I come from a hairstylist family. My aunt is a licensed hairstylist. My mom is a licensed hairstylist. My cousin is a licensed hairstylist. And I am a licensed hairstylist and barber. Now, I don't actively work in a hair salon, but I do hair on the side from time to time, including my own, which recently I decided to destroy because we as hairstylists think that our hair is untouchable sometimes to chemicals. So yes, I know my hair is not in the best condition right now, but that is my own doing. I did a lot of bleach. I had blue hair for a little while and I loved it, but I had to chop it all off because it was breaking. And I knew that was going to happen. So if you're a Monet girl watching this video, don't come at me. I'm not buying your crap. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. These girls that I found on TikTok that I don't even remember how they showed up on my For You page, but they did. And they are spewing all kinds of false things about hair. And I found myself just getting very angry. And one of them is I don't think they're licensed particularly in Canada, but they are certified or there's some kind of process that they have to go through in Canada. And one of them is an equivalent to a licensed hairstylist in the US, which concerns me a little. With that, let's dive in. Now, I do like to show the people who are creating these pieces of content in my videos. And the reason I am allowed to do that is because they are positioning themselves as public figures on social media. They are not private videos, but please do not search out these people or send any kind of messages to these people. That is not what my channel is for. I am working to bring awareness to the things that these MLM or scammers are doing out there on social media, but this is not to incite hate. This is a behavior that they have been coached to do. This is not a display of their character. They are likely very amazing human beings, and I would hate for anybody to go out and search for them and send them any kind of hate. So please don't do that. And with that said, let's get into it.
Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Healthy Hair Tips Part 11. If you're new here, welcome. Hello, my name is I've been exclusively educating myself and others on how to get the healthiest hair and scalp of their life. I already have a free resource for you guys linked in my bio if you want to go check that out. But today's healthy hair tip is to make sure that you shampoo twice. Not once, twice. I don't know why I'm saying twice like that. But anyways, the reason that you want to shampoo twice is because the first wash is not really doing anything. It's not giving clean. It's not giving you did the damn thing. It's giving more of I went through and swept up all the debris, but I didn't go back in and mop after. Basically what that means is that first shampoo is going in and cleansing your scalp, and yes, it's cleansing your hair, but it's not doing anything more than that, and we need it to. Going in and shampooing a second time ensures that your scalp and hair are actually really clean, but it's also going in and getting any leftover buildup, debris, environmental gunk that could be stuck to your hair and scalp that the first wash just didn't get. So if you're someone who gets very oily right after washing their hair or within 24 hours, or you're someone who can't get their hair to grow, it might be because you're not shampooing twice and all of that gunk and debris is just building up over time. Comment what you want to see in part 12 and follow for more healthy hair tips.
Okay, so she was so close to getting that right, like this close. But here's where she went wrong. She flopped them. So when you're shampooing your hair and you shampoo it twice, so you don't necessarily, first of all, you don't necessarily have to shampoo your hair twice. There is a point where that gets to be just a waste of shampoo, and that is when you're shampooing your hair every single day. I occasionally shampoo my hair every single day because I work out and I sweat a ton and I just don't feel clean if my hair has dry sweat in it. Like everybody's different, but that's just me. I have to wash it every day if I'm working out. If I'm washing it every day, I'm not shampooing it every day because there's not enough buildup on there to get it off. I also don't have hard water. So that is another factor too. When you're shampooing your hair, the first shampoo is getting all of that product off your hair. It's going away. It's gone. The second shampoo is going to cleanse your hair and your scalp. So you want to make sure that you are shampooing your hair twice if you're not washing your hair every single day. The other thing she said is that if you're not shampooing twice, your hair might not grow. That is false. I don't know where they are getting this information. Now, everything that she is saying, I have heard multiple times from different Monet market partners. So that's why I'm specifically using her videos, just because I found them all clumped together. So if anybody ever tells you that your hair is not growing because you're not washing it enough, that is false. I have never heard such a thing. Yeah. So moving on.
Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Healthy Hair Tips Part 13. If you're new here, welcome. My name is I've been exclusively educating myself and others on how to maintain a healthy hair and scalp for the last 4 years now. If you're interested, I do already have a free resource for you guys, linked in my bio if you want to go check it out. But today's healthy hair tip is to let you guys know to lay off the heat. Now, I know leggings and heatless curls are super in right now. They're totally the trend. I wouldn't know because I have really short hair. Maybe I should try it, but I just feel like it won't work because my hair is literally like a fucking bob. I'm like 99% sure if I just searched short hair heatless curls on TikTok, I would find something. I just haven't done that yet. I do come across a lot of short hair hairstyles, but I haven't seen short hair legging curls or heatless curls yet. So I'll report back on that. But if you do have long to medium length hair, I definitely suggest hopping on the heatless curls trend. Not only is it going to obviously save your hair from using heat and getting heat damage, but it's also going to give your hair a break. Let her out, let her breathe. Especially if you are not using a heat protectant that does not have silicones in it. Because if you didn't know this, a lot of heat protectants on the market have silicones in them, which when applied to heat become plastic, coat your hair, and that's giving it the appearance of being shiny, but it's really just silicones on top of your hair. Let me know what you guys want to hear in part 14 and follow for more healthy hair tips. Hello.
Okay, so as she was talking, I couldn't remember why I saved this one because yes, I love giving your hair a break from heat. She's talking about heat protectants containing silicone and coating your hair. You want a heat protectant to coat your hair. That is the purpose of it. So if anybody's telling you different, just say thank you for the advice and walk away. You want a coating on your hair for heat protectant. Otherwise, nothing's protecting your hair. That defeats the whole purpose.
Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Healthy Hair Tips Part 12. If you're new here, welcome. My name is and I've been exclusively educating myself and others on how to maintain a healthy hair and scalp for the last 4 years now. If you're interested, I do already have a free resource for you guys linked in my bio if you want to go check it out. Today's healthy hair tip is to let you guys know that if you do not already have a water softener or a shower head filter in your shower, you need to get on that. Even if you don't have city water and you have well water, you still need to get a shower head filter because there's so much chemicals and debris like magnesium and calcium that is in that hard water that is wreaking havoc on your hair. And believe it or not, hard water is more damaging to your hair than bleach. So hop on Amazon, get yourself a water head filter. I already have one linked in my Amazon storefront if you guys want to go there and check it out. And if you already have one that you love, drop it in the comments and share it with us. But no matter where you get it from, please do yourself and your hair a favor and get a shower head filter.
A lot of misinformation here. So I grew up my entire life up until a year and a half ago with hard water. It does not damage your hair. It builds up on your hair. So we always had a water softening system in our house. I have had times where I didn't have a water softening system. It really doesn't matter. Hard water is hard water, and you are not going to get all of the things, all of the chemicals that are inside of that water, all of the minerals that are inside of that water. You're not going to get all of that out. So what they have come out with is a clarifying shampoo. Now, this is what you want instead of spending money on a filtered shower head. Never in my life did I have a filtered shower head, and my hair was just fine. Like, when you are coloring your hair, say you're going to a hairstylist, I will say this, don't ever box dye your hair, ever, 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 especially if you have hard water. That's even worse. So the reason for that is because it causes, the minerals in the hard water will cause your hair to be very, very brassy. So even if you dye it like a dark brown and you decide at some point that you want to go and get highlights and you go to a professional, they're going to have the hardest time getting you some nice highlights, because what happens is all of those minerals will cause the hair, when it's lifting the color out, it will cause it to be very red, very brassy, and it's just going to be really, really hard to get you to that blonde. So that is something to keep in mind if you do have the urge to use box color at all, but it's, again, especially if you have hard water. But with hard water, you're still going to always get those minerals in your hair, and they're always going to build up. And you can tell when it's time, like, oh, I need to go and get some clarifying shampoo. I'm going to link some in this description. I have been using forever. I have city water now, so I don't need to use it as often. But it's called Malibu, and it works phenomenally. I used it in the salon that I used to work at. I used it on myself. I recommended it to friends all the time, and I've never had a complaint about it. So that is something that you can use instead of going out and spending a ton of money on a water softening system. She makes it sound like it's so cheap. It's thousands of dollars to put one of those in your house. I don't know anything about the shower head filters, but I can't imagine they do anything close to what the water softening systems do. But it's not causing damage to your hair. It's building up on your hair. Clarify it every other week, once a month, depending on how hard your water is and how your hair feels. Your hair is going to let you know when you need to clarify. So, and then always do a deep conditioner after you clarify, because it opens up. We'll get into this. This is a whole hair lesson. I do love hair. I just don't love working in a salon. So it causes your first layer of your hair is your cuticle. So it causes it to fray, and it's drawing all of those minerals out of your hair. So you want to make sure that you get that deep conditioner in to put that cuticle back down and seal it back in so it looks all nice and shiny. Okay. So these before and after pictures drive me nuts. Whenever you see the before and after pictures, whether it's Monet, Optivia, Awakened, whatever it is, there's always things to point out. Now, in this one, I want to go ahead and first point out that the lighting is totally different. So in the first picture, it's very bright. So of course, the lighting is going to make it look like your hair is a little fuller when it's not as bright in your room. The other thing I wanted to point out, these were only 4 weeks apart. And I mean, everybody's hair grows differently. The first picture, she has the same amount of roots, the same amount of regrowth. If you look at the second one, that almost that whole strand is colored except for the regrowth. So it doesn't make sense. Like, hair grows from the root. It doesn't grow from the middle of the strand for it to be automatically blonde. It doesn't make sense. The math ain't math in here, if you get what I'm saying. Again, with these before and afters, like some of them, their hair isn't even styled in the before picture. You can't see the ends of their hair. The lighting is totally different. There's different kinds of filters.
Okay, so I got this comment and I really want to speak on it because I've quite literally been dyeing and bleaching my hair blonde since I was a senior year in high school, so 2012. So it's literally been over 10 years. And it was only 4 years ago when I switched my products and started doing my weekly scalp treatments and literally doing everything that I tell you guys to do on this page is where I saw my hair transform. Now, you guys can take everything that I say and recommend to you with a grain of salt, but this is what has personally worked for me and for a lot of my customers and a lot of people, millions of people all over the world. But like I said, this is what's worked for me. This is, my opinion. And this is just a recommendation on something that you could try if you are wanting to find a new solution. If you need my credentials, this is what my hair looked like before I switched my products, did my weekly scalp treatments, and everything that I'm telling you to do right now. And then if you need any more, you can check out my entire transformation over the last 4 years on my hair highlight on.
Those are not credentials to be giving hair advice. Those are not credentials are certificates, licenses, registrations. I feel like a police officer, but there are titles that require registration. Pictures of your before and after is not a credential. That's not credentials in any way, shape, or form. Those are just results that you had, not credentials.
Instagram, that's linked up top, or you can scroll through and look at my before and afters here on this page, whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. But that is what my hair looked like 4 years ago before I switched my products and prioritized my scalp health. Okay, my hair was see-through at the ends. It was literally crinkly. Like, my hair is pin straight. Like, my hair should not be curly whatsoever. It was literally crinkled because it was so fried, so damaged, so brittle. The front pieces were literally fried off, and the day that I decided to switch my products and like make a change in what I was doing was the day I couldn't get a brush through my hair. Like, my hair was literal rubber and it was stretching, and there was so much product buildup that I couldn't get a brush through my hair. So the first thing I would do is find you a good, clean, naturally based anti-aging oil, but the key is to find an oil that has a molecular structure that is small enough to penetrate all 3 layers of your hair cortex. Unfortunately, there is no...
Listen, guys. So there are 3 layers to your hair, and she's saying that the product has a small enough molecular structure to penetrate the 3 layers of the cortex. The cortex is one of the 3 layers of the hair. There are no more layers of the cortex than the 1 layer of cortex. So it goes to the cuticle, and I'll put animations up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So it's the cuticle on the outside of the hair, then it's the cortex, and then sometimes there's a medulla, but there's actually not always a medulla. So for them to be walking around saying, and again, she's not the first one that I've heard say this. So for them to be walking around and saying that their Rejuvenique oil penetrates all 3 layers of the cortex is because there's only 1 layer of the cortex, and that makes up the 3 layers of the hair. Also, if anything is penetrating your cuticle like that to repair your hair, which is a whole nother issue, you can only repair your hair so much because it's all dead. As soon as it comes out of your scalp, this is dead. It's just dead stuff that we have on our head. And so for it to actually repair, like you can repair it to an extent, but to repair it back to its normal state is nearly impossible. So for going back to the molecular structure being small enough to penetrate all 3 layers of the cortex, first of all, you don't want a whole lot of stuff penetrating through your cuticle. And if it is, that's a problem. Your cuticle is penetrated. Why do we have to use that word? Anyway, your cuticle is penetrated when you are coloring your hair, when you are perming your hair. How is it penetrated? Let me tell you, I'm so glad you asked me that question. Your cuticle is opened up and frayed by peroxide or another chemical that we're going to be using to do whatever chemical process that we're doing on your hair. It's going to open up that cuticle so that we can go inside and change the structure or the color of the hair. After that chemical process is over, you bet your ass that we are doing some kind of conditioning treatment to close that cuticle back up and not let anything else back in there. So you don't want this product to be small enough molecularly to penetrate your hair strand. Ugh. It just makes me so mad what Monet is doing. Like, I'm not a practicing hairstylist, but I know many practicing hairstylists who hate Monet and Monet's whole thing. We're now having, well, not we're, they're now having clients, which I have heard of this happening. They're now having clients come into the salon and argue with them about the science of hair and how it works. You know, we went to school, right? We went to school and got educated on the 3 actual layers of the hair. I just have a lot of feelings about the crap that they're spreading. So anyway, in conclusion to this argument, there are not 3 layers of the cortex. There are 3 layers of the hair. Again, it's the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla.
Yes, 100%. If you are someone who struggles with a dry, itchy scalp or dandruff, these are my top 2 tips. Weekly scalp treatments and a scalp scrub. This specific comment is on my video talking about scalp health and how there's only one oil on the market that is able to give you the...
There are all different kinds of conditions that cause dandruff. And there are all different kinds of treatment for those different kinds of conditions that cause dandruff, including, but not limited to, prescription shampoo, over-the-counter shampoo, different oils, different creams, different treatments. There is not one, and I highly recommend against using Monet if you have a dandruff issue, because it could be psoriasis and you don't want to put Monet on psoriasis. So I recommend talking to your doctor about your dandruff, or your licensed hairstylist about your dandruff, so they can take a closer look, because let's be real, we can't see our head. We can see it with a mirror if we get a little crafty, but we can't really see up close what is going on in our scalp. So we have licensed hairstylists and barbers and physicians and dermatologists and all of those people who actually know what they're doing and know what to look for different kinds of conditions that should not be having Monet Rejuvenate oil or their shampoo or any other kind of that they're trying to push on you applied to it. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. And definitely don't do a scalp scrub if you have dandruff, because it could make the problem worse and it could hurt you. I don't want that to happen to you. Please.
The healthiest scalp of your life. And that's Rejuvenate oil. A lot of people hate it because it comes from an MLM company or direct selling company, Monet. Yes, I am a rep for that company, but I've been using this oil exclusively for the last 4 years of my life. And if you need my credentials, you can check out my before and after pictures. That's all throughout this page. You can go check out my hair highlight on Instagram, which is linked at the top of this.
Again, before and after pictures, not credentials.
Page, like, those are my credentials. I have other people's credentials of how it's healed their hair, and there's a reason why. But anyways, what it's going to do is heal your scalp. It's going to balance out the pH levels of your scalp, okay? Because I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that you have dandruff because of the products that you're using, but that is most likely so, okay? You were not born with dandruff. Dandruff is not genetic. Dandruff happens because whatever products that you are using and putting onto your scalp, it is drying out your scalp, and that is where the dandruff comes from. So Rejuvenate oil is the oil that I recommend to do your weekly scalp treatments. A scalp scrub is next. It's essentially going to do the same thing. So if you don't want to use a weekly scalp treatment or use an oil, you can do a weekly scalp scrub, which is going to remove any product buildup that you have with the products that you're using. It's going to remove any of that dandruff that you're having, dryness, flakiness, all of that is going to be removed with a scalp scrub. It's essentially the exact same thing you do with your skin. You should be doing your skin weekly exfoliation. You want to be doing that with your scalp too. So those are my top 2 tips for someone struggling with a dry, itchy scalp or dandruff, or even someone with an oily scalp.
Okay, so of course, again, she references her credentials and now other people's credentials, which are just before and after pictures. They are results, they are not credentials.
I take hair oils very seriously because they play a huge part in your scalp health, which also plays a huge part in your hair health, and that's kind of like my thing. So do your oil treatments. Okay, so let's get into the brushes. So the first one you're gonna have designated for is your wet hair, okay? I cannot recommend a wet brush enough. Wet Brush is the brand, and these quite literally are made to alleviate damage on your hair when wet. Because if you didn't know this, your hair is extremely fragile when it's wet, so honestly, this is the most important brush that you can have. On to the next one for oil treatments. I use a hard bristled brush for my oil treatments because the hard bristles stimulate my scalp, which promotes hair growth. And then you also don't want the oil to transfer onto your dry hair, so that's why you want to add in a second brush specifically for your oil treatments. And then the third brush is for your dry styled hair when you're all finished, and you're going to want to use a wide tooth comb for this. This is kind of like a bonus brush. You don't really necessarily need this one, and I'll be completely honest, sometimes I use my wet brush on my dry hair after I style anyway. The wideness of the wide tooth comb is just to help not pull on your curls so much after being styled.
You never want to use a brush on wet hair, ever. You want to use a wide tooth comb to comb through your wet hair. You can do that with your conditioner in the shower, which, by the way, she's telling you to use this brush on dry hair. That little hook on the bottom is for your shower. So that is actually a conditioning comb to use for conditioning treatments when your hair is wet. So that is the type of comb that you can use on your wet hair. You want that thicker comb. I also use combs. They're called clipper combs. No, I'll put a picture up here of what they look like up here, and I'll also link them below. But those are my favorite to use on my wet hair. And then you want to use your brush on your dry hair. And she is right that when your hair is wet, it is very fragile and very prone to being stretched and broken. And that's the reason you don't want to use a brush. When you're using a comb, it's a lot more gentle. Let me clarify. A wide tooth comb is a lot more gentle on your hair, so it's not going to pull as much. That's another little bit of misinformation that Monet is out here giving to you guys.
Okay, this is part 2 to my healthy hair tips. In the first part, I was talking about how you need to be very careful with your hair directly out of the shower when it is wet, because your hair is very, very fragile when it's wet. Now I want to talk about the next product that I use in my post-shower hair care routine. This product single-handedly took the ends of my hair from this to this.
It's also funny how there's a bunch of length missing from this to this. That's called a haircut did that for you, not Rejuvenique oil.
Period. So this is a split end mender. Magnetically heals the split ends like this.
You cannot heal split ends. That is not a thing. That is false. You cannot magnetically put your split ends back together. I wish that were the case, but you have to cut them off. You cannot heal split ends.
So I just take about 3 to 5 pumps and activate it in my palms like this. And then I just dab it on the ends of my hair. Sometimes I go to my front pieces like that. This is what thickens my ends. So this product.
Okay, so it's magnetically bringing your split ends back together and thickening them. The thickening is the cuticle being opened up. My brain hurts.
Product is not only healing your split ends within 60 seconds, it's also protecting it from splitting further. And you aren't using a product to, at least at the minimum, prevent the splitting of your ends. If you're trying to grow your hair and it keeps splitting off, it's not going to get any longer. Implementing this will keep your ends as strong as possible so they won't break any further. Comment for part 3 and follow for more healthy hair tips.
Just go get a haircut. Okay, so this is the one that is a actual hairstylist, and this is what scares me.
What is Monet doing to my hair? Let's pretend this is your hair. When you're a kid, your hair grows out and it's super healthy and smooth and shiny. As time goes on, you're outside, in the sun, you've got pollutants, and then you start doing stuff like hair, chemical treatments, flat ironing, curling your hair. You color your hair black with box dye, or you bleach your hair, and then you decide to go another color. And then you decide, you know what? My hair isn't great. My hair is not great anymore. You decide you need some smoothing shampoo because your hair is frizzy. You get some oils to try and smooth your hair out. And you just keep adding layers and layers of products. And now your hair looks like this. Follow me for part 2.
Okay, so far this isn't too bad. So let's watch part 2.
What is Monet doing to your hair? Part 2. As you start using Monet's shampoo, which is infused with Rejuvenate oil, it starts to remove all of this buildup. You mentioned to your market partner that your hair is actually looking worse than what it did before, and they say keep going. Usually around the 3 to 5 month mark is when people actually start seeing what their hair is, not what their hair was with all of this product buildup. And now you're wondering why you ever started using Monet. Rejuvenate oil is really, really small molecularly speaking, which means instead of sitting on top like this stuff does, it actually goes into your hair and smooths it out and repairs your hair from the inside out. Follow for part 3.
This is where it went awry. Earlier in the video, you may remember that I mentioned a clarifying shampoo for when you have hard water. This is what the clarifying shampoo does. Not only does it remove the minerals and the chemicals from hard water, but it also will remove any product buildup or anything like that. And you may also remember that I said, make sure you do a conditioning treatment immediately following your clarifying shampoo. And this is the reason why. You never want to leave your cuticle open for longer than the time it takes for whatever treatment you're doing or whatever clarifying treatment you're doing. You don't want to leave the cuticle open. So when Monet is saying your hair is detoxing, that's garbage. Your hair does not need to detox. What's built up is built up on the outside of the hair, and a clarifying shampoo is going to get rid of that for you. You don't need to be using Monet to cause the damage that you can see that tape caused to the hair. That is what Monet is doing to these people's hair. And again, I'm not attacking the way anybody looks, but if you look at the ends of her hair, it is very fried, very split, and it looks dry as heck. There are 2 more parts to this video. And she also was on the same kick of the molecular structure being small enough to penetrate all 3 layers of your hair strand. As a licensed hairstylist, you should know better.
What is Monet doing to your hair? Part 3. Depending how long this was on your hair will vary the amount of time to get this repaired. And depending how long your hair was suffocated and how much damage was done, this might be necessary. Don't fret. Your hair will continue to grow out of your head, healthy and strong because of the help of Monet. Don't worry, you can still color and heat style your hair. Follow for tips on how to maintain the integrity of your hair while coloring and heat styling.
It is absolutely necessary to trim your hair regularly. It's not a might be necessary. Okay, part 4.
How to heat style your hair without buildup. Did you know that hair burns at the same temperature as paper? So when you have no buildup to get through, not only is heat protection extremely important, turn your heat way down, 3 to 325 Fahrenheit to be exact. Follow to know what to tell your hairstylist to do while using Monet.
No, please don't. Please don't go to your hairstylist and tell them what to do while using Monet. Also, if your hairstylist is using Monet, please find a new hairstylist. Just please don't do that. Your hairstylist is trained, they're educated, they're licensed, they know what they're doing. They know the chemical processes that are happening. Please, for the love of everything, also don't use Monet. It will do more harm than good. I highly recommend Olaplex, even though these Monet huns out here are advising against Olaplex. It has actually, I know it doesn't look like it right now, but it has actually repaired my hair from when it was blue and purple. So I highly, highly recommend it. I've been using it for a long time now. That's my take on the Monet huns at this point. I'm really frustrated with the misinformation they're all spreading because, again, these 2 women that are with Monet, they are not the only ones that I've heard say these things and the misinformation they're putting out there about your hair. Hair is something that we use as a security blanket, a badge of honor, whatever it is. For your hair to be breaking off and frying and things that are happening allegedly from Monet, it's just not worth it. So please don't use Monet. If you don't like Olaplex and you would like a different recommendation, comment below and I can recommend something else. I've used a ton of different hair products in my time, so I know what's good, what's not good. In the meantime, if you liked this video, make sure you're subscribed and go check this one out too, because I think you'll like that, and I will see you in the next video.